day with love, when I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. I start my day with love, when I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. I start my day with love, when I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. I choose love, love, love. Love, love, love. I choose it, love, love, love. Love, love, love. I start my day with peace, when I start my day with peace, I feel that sweet release of peace. I start my day with peace, when I start my day with peace, I feel that sweet release of peace. I choose peace, 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 peace. I feel it, peace, 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 peace. I choose peace, peace, peace. I start my day with joy, when I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. I start my day with joy, when I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. I choose joy, joy, joy. I feel it, joy, joy, joy. Every day it's joy, joy, joy. I'm choosing joy, joy, joy. I start my day with love, I start my day with peace, I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love, I start my day with peace, I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love, I start my day with peace, I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love, I start my day with peace, and I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love, I start my day with peace, I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love, I start my day with peace, I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love, I start my day with peace, I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day.
Reverend Chris, it's about time. Okay.
Good morning, Celebration Center for Spiritual Living. Welcome. I am so glad that you are here, whether you are here in person physically or whether you are joining us on the live stream or whether you are watching later this week or next year or in 100 years. Hopefully I'll still be around. I'll still be around via video at that point. I am so glad that y'all are here. If you don't know me, I am Reverend Chris Ashley. I'm the senior minister here at Celebration Center for Spiritual Living, and we are physically located in Falls Church, Virginia, in the DC area. However, it is 2021, and so we are a global community. We live stream or have all of our events on Zoom so that anybody can join from anywhere, regardless of where you are at. Please, if you are in the room, go ahead and silence your cell phones for me. And don't turn those off. You're welcome to chat on Facebook or YouTube. Join the live stream conversation if you would like. And we have I am super excited about this service today. October is my favorite month of the year. I love Halloween. And so I am actually introducing a tradition that they had at Napa Valley Center for Spiritual Living today. So every month, for the month of October, they would choose a different movie and then talk about the movie and how it relates to Science of Mind principles all month long. And then the final Sunday of the month, everybody dresses up, well, anybody who wants to, dresses up like characters from the movie and comes to church. So we are going to do that. The movie that we are doing is Zootopia, because I am a giant child and I love children's movies. And this is one of my favorites. So we are doing Zootopia. So October 31st, Halloween is on a Sunday. So go ahead and start planning your costumes to wear to the center on Sunday, October 31st. In alignment with Zootopia or any costume you want. I am not going to argue with you. In addition, the theme for this month is going further together, and this morning's topic is the divine community. Y'all know I've been talking all year long about our beloved community, and so you know that this is one of my most favorite topics, and I'm so grateful and excited that we're going to be talking about this. I have some announcements. So I've been talking about our annual meeting, which is going to be on November 14th. And I've been talking about being a voting member and membership and all of that. So we have some dates for you. If you are interested in becoming a member of our center and you have not taken a foundations class, that is a requirement for membership. We have two separate opportunities to do that. They're both on a Wednesday evening, Wednesday, October 13th and Wednesday, October 20th from 5:30 to 8:30 on Zoom. So if you come to either one of those, not both, either one, then that will meet your eligibility requirements of a foundation class to become a member. And then on October 24th, which is a Sunday morning, we will be welcoming all of our new members into our congregation at the Sunday service together. So put those on your calendar. If you're interested in becoming a member of the center, please come talk to me. And if you are online and you would like to become a member of the center, then email me, revchris@celebrationcenter.org. So that's REVKRIS @celebrationcenter.org. In addition to New Member Sunday on October 24th, we are also going to be doing a Zootopia movie screening on October 24th. That's here in Haight Hall. We will not be live streaming that due to copyright things, as you can probably imagine. So that will be here in person, but if you want to come watch Zootopia on the big screen, you can do that with us. It's actually going to be just right after the service at 12:30. So bring some food to eat or go downstairs in between the service and go to the banh mi sandwich shop or whatever you want to do, and then plan to join us to watch my favorite movie that will be like the 30th time that I've seen that movie. And then finally, Suzanne Delahaye, our practitioner who made her transition a few weeks ago, her memorial service is going to be on October 14th. That is a Thursday at 4 p.m. And it is going to be here in Height Hall in person, and it's also going to be on Zoom. So if you cannot make it, or if you're too far away but you would like to honor Suzanne and be a part of her memorial service, that will be on Zoom on October 14th, Thursday at 4 p.m. And we'll be having more information about that. You can ask me any questions that you may have, or talk to Tim as well. So with that, as we do every week, I would like to invite us to say our vision statement aloud together. We are celebrating spirit within and knowing the oneness of humanity. And so it is. And so now I'd like to invite Lynn up to sing our opening song.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to do a song. This is called Walk With Me by Goldford.
Am I muted?
Walk with me, I'll walk with you through these troubled roads we've stumbled into. We're all in this thing together, we're gonna make it through. Will you walk with me? I'll walk with you. There for me, I'll be there for you. When we're running out of hope, when we don't know what to do, like a candle in the darkness, shining bright and true. Will you be there for me? I'll be there for you. Whoa, everything is gonna be alright. Yeah, everything is gonna be alright. For you and me got better days coming, yeah, everything is gonna be alright. Whoa, everything is gonna be alright. Walk with me, I'll walk with you. I know the rains of today will bring tomorrow's bloom. When we can't see where we're going or what the world's coming to, come walk with me and I'll be there for you. Whoa, everything is gonna be alright. Yeah, everything it's gonna be alright. 'Cause you and me got better days coming, yeah, everything is gonna be alright. Whoa, everything is gonna be alright. I said now everything is gonna be alright.
The licensed practitioners here, and just want to welcome everyone in this space, this beautiful Height Hall where we meet for our services and for other activities. So practitioners love to pray, and we are trained to pray and to hold a consciousness in our mind and heart about the truth of any situation, whether it's something that a person's trying to release or something that you want to enhance an experience, expanding upon the good. Either way, we are here for you and feel free to ask for prayer anytime. There's multiple ways you can ask for prayer, of course, in person. And then there is the email prayers@celebrationcenter.org. And there's also a button on the first page on the website that says request affirmative prayer. So my reading today comes from an interview I heard this morning on Krista Tippett's show On Being with Priva Parker, who wrote the book The Art of Gathering, How We Meet and Why It Matters. But before I start that, she used the word stasis. And, you know, I'm familiar with homeostasis. That's good health, right? But it's stasis means stability, but it also can be inactivity. And so I thought it was interesting the way she used this word, and it's in the first sentence. Because unity implies stasis. The stasis assumes that we are all fixed in a moment or in a time or in our own traits or in a quality. And in my study of improv theater, there is a concept from Keith Johnstone known as altered, which is the idea that all scenes, all dramas, all stage work is about the ability for characters to be altered by an event. When they are altered, if they're not altered rather, there's nothing for the audience to watch. There's nothing to learn. There's nothing to grow from. And similarly, in relationships, whether it's in a marriage or a family, a company, or a spiritual community, there's this dance between both being altered by what you hear, what you experience, while also maintaining a sense of integrity and being open to knowing what of yourself do you want to hold as integrity versus what are you willing to be altered? How are you willing to be altered? That is the heart of community. And it's also the heart of difference. So as we are experiencing things here today, you know, some things will ring true and like take us to the next level of understanding. And then other things maybe don't resonate and we say, well, that's not my teaching. So, you know, it's up to us how we let it land with us. The second piece, and this is actually from her book, she writes, take the reasons you think you are gathering, because it's your morning meeting at work, because it's a family tradition to barbecue at the lake, and keep drilling below those reasons. Ask why you're doing it. Every time you get to another deeper reason, ask again. Keep asking until you hit a belief or a value. So taking a breath, let's move into prayer. And so breathing into my heart, there is this space of awareness, spirit, love, peace, community. There's a space of unity and oneness, this understanding, this coming together, this gathering. And just imagine that you can invite everyone here, everyone wherever you are, in your household, your friends, your family, into your heart space. That this is a safe and beautiful space for us to gather, where we witness each other's lives, the life of spirit expressing through us, as us. And in the witnessing, we allow ourselves to evolve. We feel loved. That alters us in a wonderful way. We feel connected. We have a sense of belonging. We just feel this comfort in being accepted, because that means we get to be who we are. With all our uniqueness, weirdness, it all makes us lovable. It all makes us different. And yet there's so much that we share in common. And so it is from this idea of a divine community that I affirm we already have it. We already make statements to each other from integrity about how we feel. We honor each other and appreciate our gifts. I am so grateful to be a part of this community, to be a part of a group of people who willingly come together for the purpose of evolution, for the purpose of shining their light, for the purpose of loving each other, honoring each other, and knowing each other deeply. I simply release these words into the law that responds beautifully, anticipating even more wonder to this incredible community here at the Celebration Center. And so it is.
That was beautiful, Jen. Okay, I'd like to do a song. This is called In This Circle by Tret Fury. I am sitting in this circle with my humble guides, surrounded by the ones I love, protected on all sides, breathing out and breathing in, and holding all that's fine. Though the world around me shatters, I center on this time. For just one moment we are still, beneath the dark and the dreary. If we could shine a light so strong, we may not feel so weary. Just one moment we are still, beneath the dark and the dreary. If we could shine a light so strong, we may not feel so weary. Breathing out and breathing in, holding all that's fine. Though the world around me shatters, I center on this time. For I am sitting in this circle with my humble guides, surrounded by the ones I love, protected on all sides. If we could shine a light so strong, if we could shine a light, if
would be no big deal, but apparently it's a whole thing. Hi. So this week we are talking about the divine community, and it's also the third week in our, will you pull up the overview, Ivor, in our committed giving program. And so this week we are talking about deepening connection. So if you remember our vision for 2022, our overarching vision is celebrating spirit within and knowing the oneness of humanity. Very lofty goals. And so we've broken that down into 4 key areas that we are going to be focusing on next year. And so this week we are talking about deepening connection. And that is really deepening the connection between us as a community, as this beloved community, this idea of true community that I talked about last week. And so how perfectly in alignment is our third week of our committed giving program with today's topic, the divine community, because that's exactly what it is. Okay, Ivor, thank you. And it's so funny, isn't it funny? I was thinking about this idea of community, and the number one thing that comes up for me and what I talked about last week was this idea that you could just show up wholly yourself, whatever that may look like in the moment, whether it's messy or, super on point or anything in between, that when we have this true community in which we are deeply and profoundly connected beyond that surface level, and we know that we've got each other's backs, then we can show up whatever's coming through, whatever's authentic in the moment, even if it's not pretty, and we can know that despite that, not even despite that, but because of that, because of our humanity, we will still love one another, and we're here to support one another. Brene Brown says, a deep sense of love and belonging is an irreducible need of all people. We are biologically, cognitively, physically, and spiritually wired to love, to be loved, and to belong. And so when I think about this idea of deepening connection, especially in conjunction with our divine community, it's what are we doing as Celebration Center for Spiritual Living to foster that connection among one another so that I know and you know and we all know, and even our larger community outside of Celebration Center, even the community that's outside of these people knows that we can come here and we can be supported and we can be loved and we can find a place that we belong. And so I like to be perfect. I really do. It's nice. It doesn't ever happen, but I appreciate it, And I decided a month ago, that my next hair color was going to be blue. And I decided on Friday that needed to happen right this second. And so I called my hair people and got an appointment for yesterday. I was so excited because it was going to be before this morning, right? And so I got my hair done, and I slept with it down last night. And I don't know how many of y'all have had unnatural hair colors before, but it kind of gets on everything because hair doesn't particularly love to be an unnatural color. And so I was fully expecting to wake up with my pillowcase blue. What I was not expecting was to wake up with my entire neck and chin and chest and back and ears also blue, and a little bit of my face. And I was like, oh my God, right? And so I tried everything. I tried everything that I had at home. I used conditioner, I used face scrub, I used hydrogen peroxide, I used hand sanitizer because I didn't have rubbing alcohol. Still blue. And I was like, well, here we are. This is what's happening. And I was like, there's rubbing alcohol at church, so we'll try that. And then otherwise, this is going to be a great illustration for showing up messy, right? And so I got here, and Ivor, before he put on my microphone, he's sitting there with the rubbing alcohol, which he uses to get my microphone on properly, and he's like scraping at my neck with it. And I was just like, showing up in such a divine community that I can just show up as my messy self and know that somebody's going to be here to love and support and accept me no matter what, even with my blue neck. And yes, it's still a little blue. I'm sure y'all will see it when you get up close and personal after the service. But he did a great job. Most of it came off. And then it's so funny. So that happened, and I was like, oh, of course, I get to be a little extra messy, right, on the day that I'm talking about showing up authentically in this kind of silly, playful way. But then, people are starting to come in, and then Miriam walks in. I know I'm off screen. I'm coming back. Miriam walks in, and she has the most beautiful flowers, these dahlias, out of her garden. And she's like, oh my God, they made me so happy. They brought me so much joy. I just wanted to share them with y'all. I needed y'all to see the beauty of these dahlias and this garden. And I was like, oh my God, look at this, another aspect of Spirit showing up as this divine community. And another aspect of bringing our authentic selves and the gifts that come when we just choose to show up, and whatever that may look like. So thank you for the flowers. They're so beautiful, y'all. Oh my goodness. And so, and one day we might be the person showing up with the flowers totally put together, and one day we might be the person with blue all over their face, and it's okay. It's okay to be both of those people. And in fact, we're gonna be both of those people because we are fully human and fully divine all at the same time. And how beautiful is that? Ernest Holmes, our founder, says, compassion and caring are the ties that bind us together in mutual understanding and in the unified attempt to uncover the divinity in each other. And so when we show up authentically ourselves, we allow others the opportunity to show up with that compassion and that caring and fully in their own love and their own belonging and that sense of belonging. And then we're fostering that in one another. And so one of the things that we're going to focus on next year here at Celebration Center is fostering opportunities for us to show up in our own authenticity and our own vulnerability, exactly in whatever way that looks like. And that's going to look like, I don't exactly know what all that's going to look like. I think every time we step into this room is an opportunity in which to do that. And I also think that there's a way to have deep conversations and to hold space in such a way that that openness and that heart-opening sort of experience more easily comes. And so we're going to be working on fostering that next year. That is part of the vision that we are holding along with this committed giving program. And so if you are like, yes, I am on board with this vision of deepening connection, then be a part of our committed giving program and support us in showing that in all of these different ways. So when I'm thinking about, coming up and being with one another and this idea of divine community and all of that, I think about my trip to Big Bend National Park down in southern Texas. Has anybody in the room ever been there? Yay, Jen! It is mind-blowingly beautiful. And at the time in my life that I went, I had never been further west than Texas. And I lived in Texas at the time. I lived in Houston. If you've never spent a whole lot of time in Texas, it's massive. So I lived in Houston, which is in southeast Texas. Big Bend is in south Texas. So, right there, it took us 12 hours to drive there. It is massive. And my dad picked me and my son up. Reagan was about to, my son, not my dad. And we drove down in the RV, and we spent about a week hiking, and there's all these beautiful canyons and mountains, and it is just so gorgeous. And at that time, I was at Unity of Houston, and I was heavily into oneness, Diksha, oneness blessings, which is a phenomenon coming out of India since the late 80s. It's an energy transfer. It's really beautiful, lots of fun to do. So I was doing a ton of meditation and practices and spiritual rituals and things like that. I had never experienced anything like Big Bend. It was so beautiful. Just the cacti and the rocks and the birds, and at night it was pitch black. There was no light. I mean, you walked 50 feet outside of the campsite where we were staying, and there would be coyotes and javelina running past us just right there, and you couldn't see them, you could only hear them, and we would turn on the flashlight and there would just be animals just right there. And the star, which I thought was really cool. Some people were like, what, that's not cool, that's scary, but and the stars, just the band of the Milky Way across the sky, and we brought this telescope. It was profound. And I came back and I joked to my friends. I said, you almost lost me to Big Bend, because I could spend the rest of my life living on a mountaintop and meditating and being enlightened in Big Bend, Texas. I really could. I was like, that was incredible. But, I had a 2-year-old, so couldn't actually do that, right? And, we think about enlightenment, and the first thing that I always picture is some guru sitting on a mountaintop, being enlightened, sitting in their meditation pose, having, we have lots of depictions of climbing the mountain to ask the guru a question, this enlightened being. And that's great, and we need those people. We need those people on the planet. There is always thousands, I can't remember the exact number, I think it's 3,000 people meditating in the Oneness Temple in India at all times for the enlightenment of the planet. And so there are people that are doing this profound work, and it is so good. And you know what? I probably would be enlightened if I had just stayed on a mountaintop in Big Bend, because how easy is it to be enlightened when there's nobody else around, and there's no children, and there's no cars or traffic or other people or miscommunications or feelings or emotions or work or any of that. And so the real work is being in community. The real work is to show up again and again and again and to say, I messed up. This didn't work. I want to try again. And to apologize and to accept responsibility and to talk out and to have these deep conversations of, oh, well, when you said that, it triggered something in me, and hold on, let me figure out what that is. And when I said that, it triggered something in you, and then all of a sudden we were in this disagreement, and I don't even know what happens because we were fine 5 minutes ago. Hold on, let's stop. Let's figure this out. That is the real work. That is where the enlightenment happens. That is where the magic of being fully human and fully divine really shows up, is in community. And so it's all well and good to say, oh, yep, I can sit on a mountaintop and be enlightened. But being here together and sitting in these chairs and hugging one another when we're in our grief, or when those deep, tragic moments happen, that is the beauty of being alive. And I don't actually think that I would have made a very good monk up on a mountaintop somewhere. I think I probably would have gotten a little bit bored at some point, because the magic is with other people. It is a alchemical, yeah, did I say that right? Probably not. It's okay, y'all get me. Reaction of when I come together and you come together, it's not two people, it's this exponential, we'll go with that one because I can say it, it's this exponential reaction of all of a sudden the creativity and the expression and the fulfillment of spirit as us is greater than anything that we could have individually known. It is the collective that is so important. And so we can see this in the movie Zootopia. I love this movie, y'all. Just, how many people have seen Zootopia? Anyone? Yay, Miriam! It's because she has kids. She has kids the right age for when the movie came out. So in Zootopia, it is set in the animal kingdom, and the animals are anthropomorphic, and so they wear clothes and they talk, right? And they all live together in Zootopia, and it's this idealized utopian community where prey and predators can come together and live in harmony because they no longer have to follow their instincts and their urges, right? And so Judy Hopps is a bunny. And she from early childhood, she wants to be a police officer. She wants to be a bunny police officer. And it's all she talks about. It's all she thinks about. She has the costume. She is an upstanding citizen, and she's in integrity, and she, stands up to the bullies, even though she's scared as a child. And other people in her life are scared for her because there's never been a bunny cop in Zootopia. The cops are all elephants and rhinoceroses and lions and these big, kind of creatures. And even her mom and dad are like, are you sure? Are you sure? And so in one of the scenes, her dad says, Judy, you ever wonder how your mom and me got to be so darn happy? And he goes, well, we gave up on our dreams and we settled. And her mom says, oh, yes, that's right. We settled hard. And then they go on to tell her that it's great to have dreams as long as you don't believe in them too much. And which I crack up. This movie is so good. Go watch it. And it didn't deter her. And she goes, well, yeah, but actually, I really like to have dreams. I really like to, I'm going to do it. It doesn't matter what you think. I don't know when to stop. And so she goes on to the police academy, and when she grows up, she goes to the police academy. It's really hard. It's not made for bunnies. And she's failing, and she's failing, and she's failing. And the police officer in charge of the academy keeps telling her that she's going to be dead. If she keeps on like this, she'll just, you're dead, you're dead. That's what she keeps telling her. And she perseveres. And she perseveres, and she ends up graduating top of her class from the police academy, and they assign her in the heart of Zootopia, right in downtown. And, and I'm sure we didn't really see it. Well, we did. We saw some of her friends, but she had these other people that were telling her she could do anything. She could be anything that she wanted. And so she surrounded herself with these childhood friends that were telling her that, and she didn't care. She blocked out the world, regardless of what it was telling her, and she said, this is mine to do. This is my purpose. This is who I'm here to be. And I thought it was really interesting because, first of all, she had her divine community, right? She had her group of people that were there for her and that backed her up and that supported her and loved her. And I thought it was really interesting because we often, we talk about positive thinking, right? Positive thinking in Science of Mind, and change your thinking, change your life. And I don't actually love positive thinking, y'all. I'm not going to lie. I know. I'm a minister in Science of Mind, and I just said I don't like positive thinking. But I think the danger in positive thinking is that we can enter into this idea of toxic positivity. And that is the excessive and ineffective overgeneralization of a happy and optimistic state in any situation, in the denial, minimization, and invalidation of genuine human emotional experience. And so when we're focused on positive thinking and at the exclusion of everything else, then we deny the fact that being human is hard sometimes. And we deny the fact that grief is also part of being spiritual, and that anger and sadness and all the totality of being human is God, because that's all that there is. So I don't actually love positive thinking, but what I do love, and what I think that Judy portrayed really well in the movie, is possibility thinking. Because in possibility thinking, if we can hold that vision in front of us, regardless of what's going on, regardless of what the world's telling us, regardless of it getting hard, we can hold that vision and we can have the emotions. She wasn't happy all the time. There were moments that she was really scared. She was really sad. She was really disappointed. She was really frustrated. And yet she held that vision. And so I think when we look at this idea, if she had only had positive thinking, then the second that it got hard, she wouldn't have been able to dig her heels in, but instead she would have backed out and said, nope, it's hard. I can't be positive through this. And so it must not be right for me. And she would have walked away. But instead, she had possibility thinking. And so she said, you know what? This is hard, and that's okay. I can still do it. I can still do it. I am more powerful than this. I am more than capable of handling this. I can move through the emotions. I can feel sad. I can feel scared, and I can do it anyway. And so when we have our community, when we have this group of people, all of a sudden, when we show up with one another with this idea of possibility thinking, then all of a sudden it becomes, hey, you know what? I know you are really struggling right now, and this really sucks. I love that word, when things are really sucking. And I'm here for you, and I will sit with you in this, and I will be here for you. And it's okay that you're sad, and it's okay that you're hurt, and it's okay that you're scared, and it's okay that you don't know what's next. And I'm here. And I'm not going to shy away from it, because I see the possibility and the potential that you will make it through this. And so I can be here with you. And do you feel how different that is from, well, just think positive and get through it. Just put a smile on your face. If you smile and you look up, then it's like nothing's happening, right? And that doesn't actually support us. That's not actually a true community, because when things get hard, we don't feel like we can show up because somebody's just going to tell us to grin and bear through it. And so instead, we come together in possibility. And what I extra love about this idea of possibility thinking when talking about divine community is that it's okay if we have a disagreement. It's okay if you and I have, a little tiff, or that I do something that really makes you angry. Because in possibility thinking, the possibility of finding the win-win-win-win and making it through this and being a deeper connected community as a result of it is there. And we can step up together and we can say, hey, you know what, this conversation's hard and I don't want to have it, and yet it's necessary, and so we're going to stick it out and we're going to have it and we're going to figure this out together. And it's okay that we're not going to be happy while we're having it. That's okay, because I hold the possibility of getting through this. And at the heart of that possibility is love. I hold the fact that I love you. I love you. And so I know that we're going to make it through this because I love you. And I know that you love me. Ernest Holmes also says, love is the only final security in the universe. Love is the greatest healing power in the universe and the only thing that binds people together in a community of spirits. And so when we're talking about this divine community, when we're talking about deepening connection, if we hold at the heart of it, love regardless, unconditional love that cannot be shaken, then we're holding the possibility of knowing that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what happens, we're going to make it through, because love is who we are and love is how we show up. And so, Judy does indeed become a police officer, and you'll have to come back next week to hear more, or you can go watch it. But come back next week and we'll hear more. And so my question for you today is the same question that I've been asking all the way through our Committed Giving program. What does deepening connection mean to you? This idea of deepening connection together, what does it mean to you? And how would you like to see it implemented in our community moving forward in 2022 and beyond even? What can we be doing to foster this deeper connection and to foster this beloved community and to foster this divine community together? And so I invite you to come up if you're here in the room. I will put on my mask. And if you are online, I almost especially want to hear from y'all, because how can we foster a deeper connection with you when you're live streaming? What can we do? So what does this idea of deepening connection mean to you? And Ivor, I will switch microphones now. Who would like to answer? Don't all rush for the stage at once. Jen. Mask on. Mask on. Ooh, mask on.
So I'm a person that I love to make deep connections. I think to the point where it's not always a natural or it's not always a common thing to go deep with people. There's people that they don't really want to talk about things at a deep level. And I have another friend that is much like me in that way. And we both we relish each other because we just go deep. We just talk about things and we go at a deep level, and it's so meaningful, and we just don't understand why other people don't want to do it with us. But I don't think it's encouraged in our society. I think it's, I remember in the book, Waking Up White, they talked about a cultural thing that says be nice. Like the white culture, we're encouraged to kind of stay at a superficial level and be nice and not talk about things going too deep. So I think that's where some of that comes from. And I think there's probably plenty of people in this community that would enjoy that experience and feel safe in it. So I'm all in.
Thank you so much, Jen. Yes, the difference between nice and kind. So we can always strive to be kind, and kind is not necessarily nice. Interesting. I think about that a lot. And then Brene Brown says, clear is kind and unclear is unkind. And so it is kinder to be clear and precise and not necessarily nice than it is to stay nice and be unclear. Thank you, Jen. Beth Carmen says, being comfortable reaching out to this community first. Yes. I would love to know, are you comfortable reaching out to this community first, Beth? And what makes you comfortable reaching out to this community? Not to put you on the spot with follow-up questions, but who else? What does deepening connection mean to you? Yes.
So, you can't pour from an empty cup. So if you want to deepen community in this teaching, I would see 2 points. Number one, you would start with your own commitment to your own practice, whether that is, reading every day on your own, taking classes online, your study, your prayer, your meditation, to deepen your own practice on a daily basis, which supports, encourages, and validates your own commitment. That gives you the continuing depth, that gives you the depth and the continuing access to that depth that you then have it to share in community. And so in community, when a group here, you've got two different things. You can talk to someone face to face like you were explaining with your friend, where you're doing this. you can also be side to side in a shared purpose, whether that is, a project here in this facility, out in the community, whatever form that might take. But so I would see it as 2 points. One is, is focusing on your own depth so that you have it to share. And then the different means of sharing, whether it's, how are you, can I help you, can I support you, or can we together share a purpose and go forward, which creates depth side to side almost. Maybe, and sometimes more easily than face to face, because that can be really almost confrontational and aggressive to people, if they're very uncomfortable or not used to it, whereas shoulder to shoulder can make it easier.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely, and it's a really good reminder that all of these areas go together. Ivor, really quick before we do Beth's comment, will you pull up the overview slide? So we talked a couple of weeks ago about spiritual enrichment is that first one. And so yes, the fact that it all has to begin with our own selves and our own spiritual practice, and what does that look like? And then next week, we're actually talking about community outreach, because once again, yes, it's once we've filled our own cup and then we fill the cups of one another, then we have this capacity to reach out into the world. So thank you so much. Okay, Beth's comment, not comfortable yet. Online is hard to get to know people as Facebook is so very public. Yes. So what I am hearing is maybe more Zoom events and opportunities to connect one-on-one with one another online and in hybrid situations. Last week we did a hybrid workshop where we had some people online and some people in the room, and I feel like it was highly successful. Tim says, I have a new appreciation of how supportive this community can be. That is wonderful, Tim. We absolutely love you, and we are here to support and love you. Who else? What does deepening connection mean to you? Oh, Miriam, I saw Miriam's hand first, and then we'll do Janine.
It's a really quick one. I'm a teacher, so for me, I love being a learner. Like, I love when people teach me things. I took a swimming class because I never learned how to swim very well. And I felt so connected to my swimming instructor. And I thought, oh my goodness, I really love this experience of being a learner. I think because I'm a grown-up now and I haven't had that experience. So I really appreciate it when people teach me new things. So, yeah.
Yay, I love learning new things as well. So, and we've talked about educational opportunities as well. So I love that that's part of growing deeper together. And I agree that I think it is, when I'm learning something profound with you, then I feel like I know you at a deeper level. Janine.
So I have a personal experience from this past week. I had a huge event at my work, put on an open house, and it had so many different emotional kickbacks in the days since it that I have been struggling. It didn't quite meet my expectations, I'll just say it that way. Was it a success in some measure? But I was beating myself up. So in that sense of showing up as our vulnerable selves, I sort of sequestered. And I had a conversation with my sister. And my sister's probably one of the closest people to me in my life. And I was just in a sort. And it was a terrible conversation. I could just feel the lack of energy on my part, blah, blah, blah. And I felt bad. And so the next day, I reached out to her and I said, I'm sorry I was so low energy. And here's the part about deepening connection. And here's the part about showing up authentically. And here's the part about learning to be okay with those bad feelings in ourselves. Because she said, don't apologize. I was here for you. And that's what we are here to do for each other, right? To not apologize for the way we feel when we're feeling really badly, to let it be and then be okay with it. So that's what I value here.
Thank you, Janine. And giving other people the opportunity to serve. I know I love to give and I love to serve. And so I can't do that if nobody ever needs support. And you can't ever do that if I don't ever need support. And so allowing ourselves to just show up and be supported. Anything else? Any other comments, Ivor? Anything else? I want to end with, it's a picture, Ivor. I forgot what I called it. Letter. I called it letter. So Michael Zawadzki posted this on our celebration email list this morning. And it's What is Love by Emma Kay, age 6. And she says, love is when you're missing some of your teeth, but you're not afraid to smile because you know your friends will still love you, even though some of you is missing. I know. And so to me, that is what we are doing here, is we are showing up and smiling even with missing teeth. And so I just invite you into prayer at this time. If you feel comfortable and you are able, I invite you to close your eyes. Perhaps put your feet firmly on the ground and just feel that grounding. Feel the weight of being supported by this planet, with the air that is around us, with the gravity that is holding us to the ground, the foundation of the building we're in, the chair that we're sitting on, the dirt and the bedrock and the layers of crust and mantle of the earth, all of this showing up to support and love us. And knowing that all of this is that one infinite, absolute, eternal presence, this one thing that is going on as the entire universe, the multiverse and beyond, is the same one thing that is the air that we breathe. It is the thoughts that we think. It is the eyes that we look through, and it is everything that we see. It is our bodies that we use to move through the world, and it is the world that we are moving through and interacting with. It is every person, every individual, every experience, every interaction, every conversation, all of it is this one infinite, absolute, eternal presence showing up as God's greatest, highest idea and vision for what humanity is as itself. And so I know and affirm that each and every one of us is that divine essence. We are each fully human and fully spiritual. Each of us is made with the building blocks of God, of spirit, of the universe. There are no other options. And so we must be fully 100% spirit living as ourselves. And so I just know and affirm that we already have a divine community, that this community is so supportive, so loving, that there is a feeling of belonging that is here. We are radically welcoming. That when we walk through the doors, each and every one of us, and even people who have never been through the doors but will be in the future and walk through the doors online, maybe never walk through these physical doors and yet come and show up in this beloved community that is global, that there is this sense of belonging, this sense of welcoming, this sense of being home, and knowing that we are unconditionally loved and we can show up authentically and vulnerably and fully ourselves, whatever that may be, knowing that we are loved and we are supported because of who we are. And I am so grateful for this amazing divine community. I am so grateful for each and every person and the gift that they bring as their presence. I am so grateful for this beloved community and for the way that everyone chooses to show up fully as ourselves. And so I just let it go. I let it be. I know it is done as I have spoken. And so I can just relax into the love that is my divine birthright, as we all relax into the love that is all of our divine birthright, and say together, and so it is. And Lynn.
Okay. I'm going to do a song called, this is an original, On the Road of Love. A lesson of love, no room for fear. When we act from love, our strength is near. Light blesses the way as we move through our days. Our thoughts are clear on the road of love. When we live in love, the way is clear. When we show our love on this journey here, like grace is the way, breaks the clouds and the haze. The path is clear on the road of love, on the road of love, on the road of love, on the road of love. We're not alone. On the road of love, we're never lost. On the road of love, we're home. When we learn in love, it mends the holes with colorful threads that make us whole. We're like stars in the night as we share our light. Our mind is clear on the road of love, on the road of love, the road of love, the road of love. We're not alone. On the road of love, we're never lost. On the road of love, we're home. As we go along on this winding trail, choosing all we've known, guides help us sail. No borders in sight, we are drawn to the light. Spirit shows the way on the road to love, on the road to love, on the road to love, on the road to love. We're not alone. On the road to love, we're never lost. On the road to love, we're home. On the road to love, we're home. On the road of love, we're home.
Thank you so much, Lynn. And so I actually forgot to introduce everyone this morning before the service. So Jen Fay is our practitioner on platform this morning. So thank you so much, Jen, for that reading. I love On Being as well. So I appreciated that. And then Lynn Hollyfield is our music director. And isn't her music so beautiful? So this is the time in our service for our offering and our giving. And, the number one thing that you are giving us by being here is your presence. And I am so grateful for everybody's presence and the energy that you bring to this center. And we run on love offerings and tithes and donations. And so if you feel led to give something this morning, there's several different ways you can do that. If you're here in the room, we have our tithes and offering baskets on the side. You can also go to celebrationcenter.org/donate, and it will lead you to Breeze, our secure system where you can donate online safely. And there's a number of different funds that you can give there if there's something that speaks to you specifically. Just know that whatever you are giving, whether it is your time, your talent, your offerings, your tithes, yourself, your love, your prayers, whatever it is, we are so grateful for the way that you choose to show up into this community. Also, if you are interested in making a committed giving pledge for next year, you can do that also at celebrationcenter.org. If you scroll down to upcoming events, there is a link there that will take you to all of the information in that form as well. It's also getting mailed out tomorrow. So if you have your mailing address on file with us, you'll be receiving a packet of information about that in the mail next week. And so I just invite you to bring all of who you are metaphorically into yourself, and let us say our offertory affirmation together. I open my heart to give and receive the blessings that our spirits promise to me. As I do, the entire universe conspires to give me an abundant life, and I open to accept it. And so it is.
And so we bless these amazing gifts. Just feeling that energy in our hearts that's expanding into an awareness of all that we bring. all that we bring everywhere we go because of who we are, that we are the gift. And from that physical experience of being in this world in form, we also have gifts that are financial, gifts of time, presence, listening, being. And so I'm grateful for all the gifts and the possibility of so much more that we have to give. I simply release these gifts into that law that expands upon them, and they come back to us multiplied. And so it is.
Okay, I'm going to do a closing song by Carrie Newcomer. This is Room at the Table. Let our hearts not be hardened to those living on the margins. There is room at the table for everyone. This is where it all begins. This is how we gather in. There is room at the table for everyone. There's room for us all, and no gift is too small. There is room at the table for everyone. There's enough if we share. Come on, pull up a chair. There is room at the table for everyone. Too long we have wandered, burdened and undone, but there is room at the table for everyone. Let us sing the new world in. Come, let it. There is room at the table for everyone. There is room for us all, and no gift is too small. There is room at the table for everyone. There's enough if we share. Come on, pull up a chair. There is room at the table for everyone. No matter who you are, no matter where you're from, there is room at the table for everyone. Here and now we can begin of love community. There is room at the table for everyone. There is room for us all, and no gift is too small. There is room at the table for everyone. There's enough if we share. Come on, pull up a chair. There is room at the table for everyone. There's enough if we share. Come on, pull up a chair. There is room at the table for everyone. There is room at the table for everyone. Yay, Jen.
Thank you, Lynn, and thank you, Jen, for that impromptu harmonies. Those were beautiful. And so I just send us out into this week knowing that we are a part of this beloved community and that we are supported in whatever this week looks like, that we are here and we are together and that there is room at the table for all of us. And so it is.